Welcome everyone to today's Fit Flow practice. My name is Helena and I will be here to guide you through this session. Begin in a comfortable position. So roll out your mat if you haven't already. Lie down on the back. Coming to lay all the way down if that feels comfortable. Otherwise you can stay in an upright position. But sometimes lying all the way down, you get to lengthen the spine, open up the chest, reach the arms away from your body. And give the body permission to soften. So relax into your space, close your eyes. Cleanse a few rounds of breath. Inhale through your nose. And then opening up your mouth, softly sigh your breath out. Doing that again, inhale deeply. Letting go, breath out. And as you do that one more time, maybe you even notice the sensation of tension dropping away from your body. You're really landing on your mat today. Getting a little heavier into the earth. As the body softens, does the breath become full? And the carved out space and time to allow for the breath to get deeper. Perhaps you start to hear the breath, the sound of it traveling through the back of the throat. A reminder, the audible sound to keep the breath constant and fluid. And in our Fit Flow practice, we're working towards maintaining some strength and endurance and a little bit of muscular energy to help engage the body. So with your mind's eye, start to pay attention to how the muscular energy of your body feels right now. No judgment, nothing right or wrong. Perhaps you've arrived on your mat feeling a little fatigued, and maybe we can invigorate ourselves through this embodied movement. Maybe the breath is starting to create a sensation of feeling a little more awake or alert in the body. Already getting circulation moving through arms and legs, the whole torso, preparing you for the movement we're about to take. Become familiar with the breath as your gauge and your guide, so that we know throughout Fit Flow practice, when we start to lose this and the breath really gets shaky, or short, even shallow. Maybe we slow down a little bit. Perhaps offer a modified expression or a pause in child's pose to replenish the breath and then come back into it. So we're moving from that space of strength and endurance, a little bit of mind-body conditioning. I say this often in my practices, is just to simply do your best. Your best is all you can ever ask from yourself. Take 5 more rounds. If at any point in this practice you notice yourself feeling a little discouraged, a little disengaged, say that mantra. Always do your best. Maybe the best for yourself today means taking rest. Maybe your best means pushing forward. Keep checking in, moment to moment, posture to posture, breath to breath. next breath be even deeper. If you're in an upright position, carefully bring yourself down onto the back. If you're already on the back, stay there. Together, just integrate a little bit of movement, wiggle your fingers, your toes. Bend your knees. Begin to windshield wipe your knees from side to side. Maybe you're even heel toeing the feet out a little wider, so you have more room for the hips to move. Gentle twist through the body. And opening through your hip flexors, go one more time each way. Plant your feet down and set your feet to hips distance so you can even look at your knees and make sure the knees aren't too wide. Heels line up with your sitting bones. Press down through your shoulders. Press down through your feet. Inhale, take your hips high. Lift them up. Lightly engage through the inner thighs, squeezing through your glutes. We'll find a gentle pulse here. Lower your hips an inch or two. And then shoot the hips back up. Lower your hips. Inhale, engage the legs, lift back up. Do this at your own pace, lift and lower. When you come up to that highest point of your bridge pose, again, the light engagement, squeezing a bit through the bum. Check in with your breath. As you integrate the movement, maybe it becomes a little faster. Keep driving down through your heels for 3. Inhale and exhale for 2. Come up a little higher and roll all the way down. Let that go in either stillness or sway your knees. Simply notice what you notice after taking our first active pose of practice. Shifts in the body stimulation, sensations of feeling a little more awake. Ground your feet, and let's do that one more time. Press down through the heels. Inhale, lift the hips. Heels press down into the earth. Even imagine pulling your knees forward, but pulling your heels in. Legs really charged. Find your pulse. Lift and lower. Find a pace or a rhythm to the movement that aligns with your breath. Three more inhales. 3 more exhales. Roll yourself down. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a good squeeze. And then play around with the space between your knees. Knees can go a little wider. Knees can be hugged right in. Rock side to side. We'll rock and roll ourselves into a tabletop. Swing your legs back. Swing your legs forward. You gather momentum to take the legs right overhead. And the next time you come forward, can you cross the ankles, plant your hands out in front of you, and wiggle yourself through onto your hands and knees. Pinky fingers to the outer edges of your mat, usually a good indication of shoulder distance with your hands. Stack the knees right under your hips. Let's flip the toes to begin activating a little more through the arches of the feet. Press down through your hands, lift and hover your knees an inch from the earth. The front body starts to hug into your back body. Look past the top edge of your mat. This is where check in with your breath. Does it give you a guide that you can move a little deeper and maybe point your right toes back behind you and keep your left knee hovering? Inhale. Lower your right toes down, shifting the weight but not moving the torso. Point left toes back. Lower your left toes, lower your knees, soften the belly down, shoot your gaze forward and up, open your front body. Round your spine, chin to chest. Drop the head between your arm bones, let it be heavy. Inhale, come forward and up. Exhale, press down through the hands, round back. One more time through your cow and cat. Return to neutral. And let's do that again. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Maybe the fingertips go white. You're clawing at your mat. Press through the hands, hover your knees. Again, everything as we move through progressions is just optional. At any time your knees can come down. But again, try and find that stamina and endurance. Point the right toes back. Inhale. Exhale. Lower right. Then pelvis stays neutral. Left toes point back. Catch a breath. Lower the left down. This time let's pike our hips up and back into downward facing dog. Come high onto your tiptoes. Press down through your right heel. High on tiptoes. Press down through left. Go one more time on each leg. And then encouraging both heels a little closer to the earth without locking out your legs or creating compression through your lower back. Look towards your thumbs. Bend your knees, walk, step, or hop. Come forward, top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Flatten the back like a tabletop as you lift your gaze. Bow back forward, exhale. Rise to stand, reach the arms overhead, get really tall, beautiful, pull hands in towards your heart. You'll want to be sure that your second and third toe face forward. Keep the heart lifted up and towards your thumbs and loop your shoulders up, back, and down. Start to bend your knees, Utkatasana chair. Knees aren't splaying out or collapsing in. I like to lift and spread the toes to awaken the arches of the feet, set the ankles, everything sort of plugging up from there. We'll straighten the legs, reach the arms overhead, come high onto your tiptoes. Bend your knees, ground your heels, sit the bum back, hands to prayer. Inhale, arms reach up, high to toes. Exhale, sink through the bum, ground your heels, keep the chest open. 5 more times. Inhale, sweep. Try to sync up the full breath to the full movement. Really finding that wingspan through your arms, and maybe each squat getting a little deeper, and you can still see as you lower down all 10 of your toes under that proper squat position. Good, sink through that next one. Bum goes back, chest leans forward, hold. 3. If you want to make this a little more invigorating or energizing, pulse the knees, that lift and lower an inch. 2. Inhale, exhale. Fold it forward, let it go. Empty out, shake your head. That soft micro bend still through the knees. Halfway lift, inhale. Bend your knees, plant your palms, we come into plank, step the feet back. Trying your best to keep the hips stacked in line with the shoulders, so we're creating a nice line through the back body. Your breath, your indicator. Shaky or short, take your knees down, look slightly forward. Chaturanga push-up, we come onto the belly. Inch your toes back. Let's hold our first Cobra pose, lift the heart, press through the feet. The shoelace side of your feet stays rooted down. Hover your hands an inch from the earth. Try to press the pubic bone down to lengthen the lower back. The offering again here to either hold and squeeze or pulse, lift and lower an inch. Do this slowly, just be mindful of the back. We're not trying to crank the torso up and down. It's just an energetic lift. 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. Plant your hands, move back through tabletop. Flip your toes, downward dog, exhale. Full breath in. As you sigh your breath out, the offering to release tension somewhere. Float your right leg high. Kick out through the heel, activate your whole leg. Take your right knee and see if you can come forward to tap your right elbow. Kick it high again, reach it up and back. Let's add on to that, knee to elbow, stay here, or slide your knee towards your wrist. Pull the knee back up and towards your armpit, kick it high. 2 more, knee comes forward, the option to slide down, squeeze and hug back in. Lift back up, good. Reach the right leg high. Bring your knee towards your chest, look forward. Flicker step your right foot through. Grab the ankle, pull it there, find your low lunge. Tense your fingers, and then begin to lift your belly off your thigh. Sweep the arms back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, palms face the earth. Keep trying to pull the right upper thigh bone back, pelvis really neutral, hold here, or a micro pulse through the right leg. So a little straighten, rebend, 3, firing up and charging the right leg, 2. Lift your torso all the way up, crescent. Palms face in. Breath gets soft. Again, that leaning forward into your right leg. Take your left leg, step it forward, find your chair. Take your hands and hook them behind your left knee. So you have to go nice and deep. Take the left leg, step it back into your lunge, then switch the hands, go under the right thigh, clasp your fingertips. Step the left foot forward, hook under your left. Step your left foot back, hook under the right. Do this on your own pace. We're stepping in and out of the right leg. And simply using the hands under the thigh as a reminder to get nice and deep into your squat. Maybe it gets faster. Last one. Land your left toes back, reach the arms crescent. Inhale, lengthen your side body. Exhale, cactus style your arms. Good, bring some tension into the hands. Maybe spread your fingers or make fists with your hands, and then bring the arms in front, elbows touch. Open your chest up. Bring elbows together. Open up. Move through the arms. Your own rhythm. One more inhale. Sweep the arms high, breathe in. Lower your hands, frame your front foot. Step to plank. Catch a breath. Notice its consistency. Maybe the knees lower, high to low push-up. Find your back bend, cobra, or upward dog. Again, really pressing through the feet to engage the thighs, lifting. Exhale, empty, downward dog. Spread your fingers, find that L shape through your index finger and thumb to send your hips back a little further. And if downward dog is not restful, take child's pose. Give yourself that moment to reset. When you're ready, make your way back to downward dog. Setting up for the opposite side, left leg high to the sky. Kick out through the heel. Left knee, left elbow, start there. Squeeze in, notice. Claw them out with the fingertips, press back up, three-legged dog. The offering to take the deeper expression, knee to elbow, slide to wrist, pull back in, pike your hips high. Beautiful, 2 cycles. Try to shift as much weight into the hands as you can. And the next time the left leg goes high, reach it up, and then step it through between your hands. Tense your fingers, left knee on top of ankle, hover over your thigh, float your arms back. Feel that long energy line from your back heel shooting out through the crown of your head. Maybe your left leg starts to find a little pulse. Inhale deeply. Reach the arms, lift your torso. Crescent. Dragging the heels and the toes in towards one another without actually moving them. It just creates a contraction through inner thighs, a stabilizer for your pelvis. Let's start with this first one slow. The right foot's going to come forward. Try to hook your hands behind the right knee. Sink your bum down. Good. Take the right leg back, switch the grip, move under the left. Stepping in and out of the left leg, coming forward and back. And that grabbing for the fingertips just reminds us to get nice and low through this. It can get faster, or take your time. Left leg is strong. Keep powering through as you step into it. One more. Land the right toes back, reach the arms up, crescent. Inhale, sigh, exhale. Cactus the arms, energize either the fingers spread or making fists, elbows together. Open back up. And if you even had like weights at home, you could do this with small weights in your hands if you wanted to. Keep aligning with breath. Open the chest. Inhale, float the arms. Frame your foot, lower them down, step to plank. Always that moment to pause. Notice, look forward. Chaturanga Dandasana, lower to your belly. Inhale to Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog, or even permission, just allow yourself to take child's pose or sip water. You have 3 or 4 breaths wherever you've landed. What supports you through our next sequence? Do you still have the mindful awareness to scan your body? Sense how the body's moving and breathing. Slow down when needed, or pick up if you can. Come back to downward dog if you're not there already. Right leg high. Right knee, right elbow. Slide it down. We'll add on this time. Zip it up. And then flick your right foot out beside your right pinky fingers. Sink your hips, lift your chest. Send the right leg high behind. Lower it beside your left. Lift your left leg high. Left knee, left elbow. Slide it down. Squeeze it in. Flick it out. Lower your hips. Send it up and back. Left lands beside the right. Same thing, both sides. 2 more times. Right leg high. Knee to elbow, slide down, squeeze it up and in, flick it out, land in a lunge. Send it high behind, lower it down. Again, it can get faster, left leg up. Knee to elbow, slide to wrist, lift it up, flick it out, lower. One more time each side. Move on your own pace, and we'll meet together in downward dog. Once you land in your downward dog, walk your hands back to meet your feet. Bend your knees a lot, hold for opposite elbow, belly on thighs. So supporting the torso and the low back by letting your thighs hold that weight. Then everything can melt from there. Maybe you rock side to side if that feels good. Hands to shins, lift and lengthen. Fold back forward, exhale. Rise up, strong legs, reach up. Give your arm bones a good shake out. Let them go. Then walk yourself up to the top of your space. Shake off your legs, roll out your wrists. Ground your feet. That same sequence we started our practice with, lifting the heels, floating your arms. Sink your bum back and down into a chair. You can either stay with this again, lifting the heels, rising to stand. If you feel like you've got some strength through the core, as your bum goes down, lower it all the way down, kick your feet out to Navasana. Then you'll want to plant the feet, rock back forward, stand all the way up, lift your heels. Again, you can either stay with that first flow, in and out of your chair, or work towards bum landing, feet going out. So it's kind of like a yogi's choice in noticing and knowing where the position or the sequence can go. Even if you're just getting a little deeper into your squat each time. Maybe you try that bum going down. Hey, you fall back. Catch yourself. Land back into it one more time. And then together, lower your bum, lower your bum, lower your bum. Hands can catch you, take the bum down, land your hands behind you. Awesome, heel toe the feet out wider. Let that go, sway your knees. Back to center, plant your heels. Drag your heels in towards your body, lift your chest up. Loop your shoulders down your back. Float the arms forward. You can feel the sensation of everything recruiting in and up through the midsection to keep your torso lifted. The option to take the body, lean it back an inch. Maybe lift your heels up. When does the breath start to get shaky, short or shallow? Work at that space, or maybe back out an inch. If you're like, I've got this right now, I feel pretty good. See the sensation of lowering yourself down into a low boat and then pulling everything back up into center. You can use hands to thighs even to help encourage a little support, or even fingertips back behind you. Any expression, find 3 breaths. Even like that, if you're upright, is the breath still full? Keep your awareness to your breath rather than to the depth of your position. Last inhale, exhale. Ground your feet if they're lifted. Take your knees wide. Rock side to side. I always find that sometimes Navasana makes the hip flexors get a little pinchy or a little tight. Opening them up, pulling the knees out. Lift your chest up. Hinge your body forward. Again, lift your chest up, lengthen, find some space. Exhale, empty. Hear the sound of the breath through the back of your throat. And if your mind has really started to wander throughout your practice, creating stories, remind yourself that you're here simply to do your best today. Whenever that might be, as the body changes energetically and emotionally day to day, we're even having to take those things into consideration when moving our body. Last round. Lift your torso up, use your hands, bring your knees together. We'll do Navasana one more time. Maybe adding just a little bit of a playful element. Lift your heart, puff your chest up, lean back, option to lift heels. Option to reach the arms, stay upright, or find your low to high boat. Sometimes it's just that little bit of lowering down and then trying to shoot yourself back up. 3 breaths. The next time your knees come in, round your spine, chin to chest, rock the legs back, rock and roll along the length of your spine. Good, one more, cross your ankles, reach your hands out in front, wiggle yourself through to your tabletop. From table, come down onto your forearms. Maybe wag your hips side to side. And then inch your elbows forward, so we come into like a low dolphin plank with the knees down, but zip your knees together. And be mindful that your shoulders are over your elbows, not past them. And then roll over onto the razor edge of your left leg. Press your left hand into the earth, bring your right hand to your hip. And the legs behind you kind of create like a kickstand, squeeze your inner thighs together. Pressing down through the left shoulder, maybe you start to lift and lower your left hip. Up an inch, down an inch, up, down. Or simply hold. Now you're working a lot here. The whole shoulder girdle, the side obliques, even the legs hugging in towards one another. 3, 2, look down. Let's switch it up. Bring the right elbow to the earth. Knees come back to center. Roll onto the right side. Tense your left fingers. Then bring your hand onto your hip. So try not to be soft through the right side body. Hug it in, lift it up. Then lower the hips, lift the hips. And think about our pelvic bowl is really heavy, so we're using a lot through the shoulder, a lot through the core to lift and lower it. And the thigh bones, the whole pelvic bowl. Stay with your breath. One more inhale. Look down, take both elbows down, both knees down, and it doesn't have to be super graceful to melt yourself into the earth. Let's stay on the elbows. Take them to shoulder distance. Spread your fingers. Press through the feet, draw the belly button in and back towards the spine, or press through the pubic bone to help that hugging in action. This really supports the lower back a bit more. Sphinx pose, chest lifts. Try and draw your heart through the window of your arms, back of your neck stays long. Good. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, let your elbows soften out, melt yourself down, rest one cheek, disengage. Try to be here with no muscular effort. Switch your cheeks, replenish 3 more breaths. If it feels good to release the sacrum on the back of the body, rock your hips side to side. Give a little wiggle. Chin to center. Slide the hands in towards the body. Press yourself back to child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide. Rest your head. Pace your hands over towards the right side of your mat. Really reach the left hand over, lengthen the left side body. Two or three cycles. Inhale, exhale on purpose. Back through to center. Walk the hands left, right sweeps up and over. Ground your right hip down. Come back to center, find your table. Reach the right leg behind you, create some space, lift it out. Right knee to chest, flick it through. Grab the foot, pull it there. Lower down into your hips. You perhaps might want some blocks for this next sequence. If you have them, if your hips are tight or hamstrings are tight, stacking them under your hands. That even helps to keep a little bit of the upward dog quality, lift through the chest rather than collapsing forward. Lower the hips as close as you can to the earth. Start to shimmy your hips back in space. Walk your hands back, whether you're on fingertips or blocks. Right leg begins to straighten out. Flex the right toes towards your face. Keep trying to plug the right hip back and down. Keep the lift through the chest. You can work towards bowing in towards your front shin. Or maybe you're good exactly where you are. Breathing in and out. Rebend the front leg. Ditch the blocks, but keep them nearby. Take the right foot, step it back to meet your left. Let it go. Sway your hips. Maybe even move through a cat-cow, a little barrel roll. Set up for your left side. Left leg high behind you. Reach it away from you. Squeeze it towards your chest. Flicker, step it through. Be mindful the knees on top of the ankle, especially before you lower into your hips. If your knee starts to pass your toes, you might be putting too much flexion, too much strain on the joint. When they're stacked, they're a little more stable, a little more supported. Blocks can come under your hands. Hear the sound of your breath. Move the hips back in space. Encourage the left leg to get a little straighter. It doesn't have to be straight. Shimmy your hands back. The option to flex your left toes. Try to keep the shoulders away from the ears and the heart leading forward. The more you flex your left toes back towards your face, the more challenging this will be. Breathing in. Soften something as you breathe out. Lunge back into the front leg. Release the hands, release your blocks. Step into your table. Wiggle your hips side to side. We'll come together on the bump. Legs swinging around and in front. Sliding forward, lower down onto your back. Once you come to lay down, windshield wipe your knees from side to side. In fact, this is your opportunity to take any final movements, a gentle twist, happy baby, a little hip opener. Before taking rest in Shavasana, maybe you're ready to move there right away, arms and legs extending out. Palms facing the sky. Dropping into the earth the way we started the practice, no muscular effort. Every muscle and tissue in your body has received a little bit of a contraction and release. That mind-body strengthening, conditioning, and endurance. Let the benefits of the practice land in the body and trust that my voice will bring you back slowly. Lightness to your breath. Starting to fill back up on every inhale and exhale. Thank yourself for doing everything you could this morning. For arriving and simply doing your best. Wake up into your body, wiggle your fingers, your toes, roll the wrists out. This movement can be playful and organic, a good morning stretch, the arms sweeping to really lengthen the whole body. Gradually bring your knees towards your chest, roll over to one side. Make your way into a comfortable seated position. Sealing the practice, hands coming to prayer and heart center with a collective breath. Breathe in. Audible, let go. It's a pleasure and an honor guiding each of you through this practice. The best in me bows to and recognizes the best and highest in each of you. Namaste.